So, today's reading will be I like that, your favorite dipping sorbet. Today's reading will be, whatever spirit wants you to know will definitely come out type of reading. I went ahead and shoveled just for like a pre-shovel, and just looking at what we got was the grace within the chaos, the number 8 as well. Grace within the chaos, the number 8. So you may have been seeing the number 8, or we may see it more during this reading, but whatever the case is, this concept, kind of move it right here. The concept of this card is grace, choice, accepting the complexities of life, not taking this world personally, and the seduction of distraction. So this card is like, let me read the things that are on it. It says accepting life's complexities, the seduction of distraction, basically what I just told you about. So it says, every day you awake is the gift of a new beginning. Will you decide to walk through the chaos with grace, or get spun out by that chaos? You can choose to express yourself with love or with divisiveness. In pain and heartbreak, you still get to choose whether to be present to all life has to offer, or to distract and numb yourself in avoidance. This would be a good time to brush the mic, I guess. So, ask yourself where you place your attention and energy, and knowing that wherever you're doing that, whatever you're giving energy to will grow. So choose abundance, gratitude, meaningful activities, self-care, compassion, kindness, creativity, joy, and laughter. So today you're asked to walk with grace, to see through the lens of compassion and courage, and taking nothing personally, right? So how can you bring your best self to this situation? Can you remain in the eye of the storm and observe the world rather than identify with it? Can the world, rather than, can you identify with yourself rather than the world? Can you release the need for, a certainty, or expecting the outer world to behave a way that you think it should? Is really, this card is all about, detachment and acknowledging the complexities and nuance without trying to force a change. So it's definitely a time to wear the world loosely around your shoulders and just have a sense of humor about everything, knowing that all will be well and you're exactly where you need to be, and just trusting that whatever chaos that you go through is temporary. That's the structure of life, right? Chaos and then structure, chaos and then structure, right? So out of the chaos is born, a lot of great things. So that's why you never want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I hate that saying, but it's the energy of not wasting all the good things that can come with hardships, or just anything like that. So let's I have 2 decks right here that I wanted to use for this reading. Thank you for liking the video. If you're here still and you haven't, please be sure to like the video. So let's do the tarot cards now. Ace of Wands, but so what does Spirit want you to know about this somewhat chaotic time that births everything else that you need at this time as well? It's kind of giving me like the Tower moment energy, like when things are, looking shaky, or things are being destroyed in your path. It's like it's for a good cause. Typically before a big building, um, whether it build something big, they have to do some destruction and construction. Oh wow! As I say that, the bottom of the deck literally has a tarot at it. I mean, the tower at it. It's great. So you may have just gone through like a tower moment, and you're getting your bearings back. So, um, there's nothing wrong about that because, like I said, life is a cycle. So you can't have that big glow up. Sometimes, if there's something old in the way, you have to like have a destruction process, and go through that moment of um things being reversed, basically. So whatever that energy is like the we have the Nine of Swords here in reverse. So it's like whatever hardship or anything like that, it is what's encouraging you to have better, do better, be better. Things that you go through, it really shapes the way that you are like looking at life, and is changing like your mental clarity as well. It's the energy of fears being dispelled as well. Getting rid of illusions. If you're feeling like despair, anything like that, getting rid of that, because with the Nine of Swords, that's the energy, an energy of like guilt or worry or depression, and all of these words that I'm saying is like very ones that are low vibrational, right? And it's that energy of like being buried in these emotions. But in the reverse part, it's like realizing that you may have blown things out of proportion, right? So it's like limiting your perspective on life, the way that you look at a situation. I love this quote. It says, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. So in the reverse, it's kind of like the energy of like just changing the way that you look at things, and not needing your circumstances to be different in order for you to be different, and not needing your circumstances to be different in order for you to be happy. It's kind of like not struggling through the chaos, but striving and surviving in a great way, through the chaos, instead of toiling over it and being depressed or worried. It's really about negative forces in your life have reached like an apex, and you are now causing you could be causing like harm to yourself. So just thinking about how can you rise above that stress that you're experiencing, and don't become your situations. You are not your situation anyway. So whatever temporary situation that you're sitting in, it's very helpful for you to detach yourself from it. I think that's what the first card was talking about as well. Just this sense of detachment. You're not your problems. So your state of despair is not healthy, and it can only cause more pain in the long run. So if you take a deep breath, okay, and just broaden your thoughts and your approach to this situation, and it'll be very soon that all of this will be very much behind you, and it is time to take like make a positive change. And first step comes with your mind, right? And just like reshifting the way that you think. And there are so many videos on YouTube. So if you are still in that wave of not understanding like how to change your thoughts, or how to deal with like psychological fears or whatever, obviously there's this channel here to help you like with any anxiety or insomnia, which could lead to disharmony, inner disharmony. But if you want things for in the daytime, and how to manifest and things like that, there's so many channels like that, or just looking on this channel for like the positive affirmations and getting yourself into a habit of either saying them or listening to them, writing them down, whatever you feel like the best doing, making positivity a ritual, actively seeking it out so that like in the long run you don't have to keep seeking it out and you can thrive without having to do a whole shebang, or you could be positive without having to go through a whole routine. Alright, let's get another card. What the spirit wants you to know. What's the perfect card for who's ever watching? Spirit, thank you. Let's get a card for perfect for you. Alright, we have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is definitely a very, dreamy energy. The energy of, not being, I wouldn't say sweet, but just that energy of, I would say dreamy, and paying attention to, I guess, just the details, the finer details in whatever projects you find yourself in. The Page of Cups is all about your imagination as well. So, this card is the card of, just like going back to your youthful side, your carefree side. So the first card that we have is the, Nine of Swords energy, which is like the one of worry. And the card that's coming out right now is telling you, don't worry, be happy type of energy. Because the Page of Cups is all about, being free from, emotional things that may be holding you back or weighing you down, and also um free from things that were, just, let's say, maybe some things in the past had like sentimental value to you. In this Nine of Swords energy, it had like a certain sentimental value. Maybe it happened like a long time ago, or happened when you were youthful, but now you're tapping into like the youthful side of yourself that is imaginative and using your intuition. Kids have great intuition as well, because they haven't been trained out of using it. So just tapping back into that sensitivity and that side of yourself that you get a lot of inspiration and creativity from. And this is also the energy of romance as well. Just, it's like the energy of a spark being lit up again, and this is the type of message that comes at a time where you like are checking in with your spiritual voice and trusting your intuition and your feelings and knowing that you're on the right path. And this is definitely the beginning of like a new adventure or project or idea. So you're taking time to thoroughly work through this like creative process and know that you will be guided more than you can ever understand, right? So the Page of Cups is definitely like that individual who is like intuitive, sensitive, romantic, kind. Like, people just love the way that you show up if you're, seeing in your life. And you can definitely expect to see the world through a entirely new lens when you tap into this side of yourself. And you definitely tend to have like a stronger inner wisdom that will, baffle most people. And this can be reflected in the lifestyles that you align with, right? And to some, of course, this seems like you may seem sometimes like aloof or disconnected from reality, but that could be seen as like a trauma response or anything really. But it's really about, choosing to disconnect from reality a bit so that you don't conform to reality, or that you don't pick up the bad habits of this, paradigm, or that you also, you realize that reality doesn't define you. So going within and, detaching yourself from reality, it has a positive benefit, because one of the things that you can do when you detach from reality is change it. So if you are in that mood of, wanting to change your future and wanting to change your present, which is the best, of course. It's only now, right? So you wanted to change your present. The best way to do that, of course, is to, detach yourself from that reality and realize that you're not your circumstances. And I think, that's the realization that you have when you're in that Nine of Cups reversed. And now that you're in the energy of, Page of Cups, it's like, what can I do? Like, what is that voice calling you to do? Because there is an amount of doing that you have to do in order to, meet spirit halfway, let's say. So understand that you may have like a small trouble, finding whatever your tribe is. But when you do make connections, they are also like the type that are bonds for life. And because that's the energy that you hope people really want to be around you, So because you embody like a sort of ethereal magic that comes from like celebrating your inner child. This Page of Cups card is like really about your inner child and following whatever your inner child wants you to feel and explore, so that you can improve like the quality of your life. Because a lot of the people who are unhappy is because they grew up, quote unquote, and they started doing a bunch of stuff that other people wanted them to do, and it's not what makes their inner heart sing. Or we all came here with our own inner mission. So just take some time to listen to yourself and figure out what you want. So let's get some more. Okay, so the card you have come out is the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles. Put my deck down. The Eight of Pentacles is all about, I won't even say hard work, right? Because if you love what you do, maybe it's not that hard, quite frankly. But I would say what it is, it's like a skill being refined to a place of just like proficiency, and being very like, so whatever it is that you decided to invest in, it may be something that brings your childlike energy out, but it is very much so something that brings your childlike energy out, but it is something that does take a lot of refinement and education. So once you start to learn these things, you start realizing you may have like savant syndrome in at least like this area that you are, a part of, or you may bring some like ingenuity to this craft that you're bringing up, right? So whatever it is, you just love it so much, and it's the part of the reason why you are growing spiritually, not just in the physical, because your pockets, of course, grow with this Eight of Pentacles type of energy. It always has that money of, proficiency in the, um, career department and the next evolution of like your money as well. So the keys of this is like perseverance, working through no matter what, you know what I mean, and not overworking yourself, but it's just like, putting things to the side, like putting worries to the side. So when we look at the cards that came out so far, so when looking at the Nine of Swords, when you start to operate in your purpose, like the Page of Cups, right? When you start to really craft yourself, like the Eight of Pentacles, sometimes those old fears. So you see how the Nine of Wands is like really moving out of view, and it's like out of there. But sometimes these things, when they're like leaving and they don't want to leave, and it's like your new stuff is starting to form and cover up those old scars of like who you were and everything of that nature. Those old things, those old wounds will try to like pop up one last time to like get your attention and see if you are, paying attention to it, right? It's trying to test your spiritual growth. So that's also a key of this card, spiritual growth and just like the education and acting on what you have educated yourself on. And it is about perseverance and just ingenuity, being very creative, like the Page of Wands as well. And also like a certain level of craftsmanship, of course, and like proficiency at a skill or an industry in whole. And the Eight of Pentacles is like highlighting the well-earned rewards that you have like received for working up until this point, right? Can I do your what? Just talking back to the chat. So the appearance of this card also indicates that your strong will and your hard work or whatever you have persevered through by being like diligently mindful about, just keep going no matter what. And it says that you through that have created the foundations of success and you're now enjoying it. So like through your hard work actually comes a new level of, like I said, success, and you love to enjoy that. Sure, let's get one card. I don't know why I want to do this, but let's just get one card for the nuclear reactor in the chat. So if you are seeing this Eight of Pentacles as well, it's definitely about not needing to be stressful in order to work or do work or things of that nature. Planning your next move, and it's also indicating that whatever tasks or ventures that you are a part of could end up having a long-lasting presence in your life. Like the Eight of Pentacles is the symbol of like long-lasting and being very self-determined, and it comes from all that self-determination comes really from a clarity and focus in yourself, and listening to that spiritual voice. These both are very spiritual cards, even though they are outward facing, like doing work and evolving and things of that nature. But let's get one card for the guy in the chat. Let's see what symbolizes this one card. Your one card that came out is the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is like fire energy as well. It's also one of like someone who's on a journey and just very tapped into like what you have going on, and being confident in that, being very courageous and rebellious, and also like being very inventive in a lot of ways. So there may be new events or opportunities ahead for you right now, but you have to be sure to move forward with clear intentions and always remember your confidence, because when you start moving, like I said before, confidence can get shaky. Maybe that Nine of Swords in reverse starts to pop up on you again, just to see if you have actually changed. But excuse me. But it definitely, the Page of Wands is someone who's very, just outgoing and enthusiastic. So you're definitely very energetic about the possibilities that are happening, and whatever. You are definitely someone who also is like a risk taker as well. But it gives you like an innocence and just a fresh outlook, kind of like the Page of Wands. It's like untainted by, or you know untainted by the stresses of the world. So I definitely feel like that's the theme of this reading as well. So this reading is definitely for you. Let's get one more card for the collective and then we'll go. Thank you. It is kind of cool, right? It is very accurate and very cool. Alright, so for the collective we have the Knight of Pentacles last. So I definitely have that same energy permeating throughout the reading. But the page, or no, the Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles is very it's very like swift acting. So the part of you that wants to refine your skill right? It's the same part of you that is very committed to like being hardworking and diligent and just doing something over and over and over and over and over again because you love something that much. And the better you get at it, you become like more detail oriented and just very um, not stuck in your ways, but you become unmovable and unshakable. It also is indication of like nature lover as well. So you may like find a way to incorporate nature into the things that you have to do over and over again. Kind of gives me the energy of like being a farmer and understanding, the importance of just like tilling your land and knowing that so many things are happening beneath the surface. Even if you can't see it, a farmer knows that there's so much that's happening. There's so much that is taking like a taking place without actual action sometimes. So there's only so much a farmer does, and then it allows the nature of this universe to do its work as well. So I think we can all learn something from that diligent farmer, of course. One that gets up and tills the land and is unfazed about circumstances, because the farmer may come out and there's no trees, and it may stay that way for like month 1, 2, and 3, and the farmer has to be solid within himself that he's not like digging up every seed to check that it's growing. There's a certain amount of trust that goes into doing anything. So you do your part and you allow the universe to you trust that what you're putting into the ground is cropping up and it's taking seeds, right? So it's definitely time to take action. If the task seems like tedious or anything like that, it's important to remain focused and knowing the importance of like follow through. And once you do this, you will definitely feel a sense of just accomplishment and just thinking of the rewards. So it may not feel the best like eating the same meal every night. Me personally, I like it because it's like I like the ease more than I like you know choosing something different for dinner every night just to have something different. So it's very easy for me to like stay on a program, like stay with my weight loss or whatever like that, because I don't mind doing the same thing over and over again, because it does give you a sense of accomplishment. So I will tell you to get used to like some of the more mundane things. Like there is a lot of freedom that can come when you automate certain points of your life. So the things like dinner that may not be as important for you, you can make one decision about that at the beginning of the week for what you will eat for dinner for the rest of the week, and then now your creative energy can go towards something else, because every decision that you make daily and all of these things, this is what's so great about having a system and a routine to things, because it allows you, if you can believe it, it allows you to actually be more creative. Because when the basic things in your life are handled, you don't have to spend your mind power thinking about what you're gonna have for dinner or breakfast or anything like that. The most basic things in life, they do still pull on your mental energy. So if you're finding yourself not having a lot of creative, not as much creative energy as you would like, it could possibly just be because you are having to make so many other decisions daily about where you're gonna eat this and that, and just basic things. So I would say, with the Eight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, it's like the energy that's telling you to automate the mundane things, right? With the Eight of Pentacles, it's like the things that you have to do every day for your health and, things like that. So not neglecting anything, but also the Knight of Pentacles is telling you that, of course, being committed to those things are being committed like to your health, to anything, is like a diligent thing that's worthy of your time, is worthy of your focus, and is worthy of your follow through. So in this energy, the Knight of Pentacles is like an old soul energy. You like have seen and experienced the most, and lives from a place of like just quiet and meditative wisdom. It seems like that, right? You've just been through maybe those Nine of Swords moments have just taken you to another state of consciousness, even you may have not been ready for it, but it did. And even with like strong views about the world, you still have no time for like irresponsibleness or just petulance from others, because you really like to be on your stuff. You like to stay on top of your game. You definitely have an ability to plan ahead and to work and long hours that are like in accordance with your lifestyle. So you you do what needs to be done in order to reap the benefits. You're very loyal and responsible, so people can definitely put their trust in you. So you're the type of person that will definitely follow through on promises and plans, and you can be trustworthy. And like I said, all of this comes from a place of wisdom, because it takes a lot of like consciousness and just doing things over and over again to understand like patience and level-headed, and just thinking clearly in any situation. That is a very much a skill. So while it may not be the most adventurous type, you definitely make for an amazing like um a boss, a loving friend, a partner, a teammate, like anything, because you can be, counted on. It's just being clear not to be overly cautious or conservative, like with your views or with your time, so that you become inflexible to other people. So, don't become rigid in the Knight of Pentacles energy. It's just about, mastering the ritual due to like your years of experience and just knowing how to use your time wisely, but also having that Page of Cups energy and even, Page of Wands energy, being very flexible and still tapping into your inspiration as well. Perfect. I'm glad it did match for you. So I'm going to get some wisdom. Let's get some wisdom from the deck as well. At the bottom of the deck we had breathe, so make sure you take a deep and big belly breath. Okay, so let's shuffle. Immediately popped out and hit the mic, so okay. We have thinker. The number 44. We actually started this card. We actually started this reading. If you were here in the beginning, we started this reading with the card of the number 8 is up here. I can show you anyway. But yeah, numbers are all connected. So we have the 44 here, which is the 8. That's the only number that came out. Oh, 8 and 9. But also the number 8 here. So very heavy 8 energy. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Alright. Let's put this down here so I can actually see it while we're reading it. Okay, so I'll put that in the camera view so we can read it or see it while we're into it. So just about thinking and or being a thinker. It takes a lot of planning, foresight to be, successful in a way, So this card is really about strategy, being analytical and logical, and also I would say too, not losing that side of yourself that is inspirational as well. But it does take a higher level of we all are creative, right? But in order to be successful with your creative ventures, you have to have a lot of analytical and logical qualities to you as well. It's not all just creativeness and playing and free flowing. You also have to have like a high level of intelligence, right? So the ability to reason and strategize is, the focus right now. And you're taking, things at a face value and just following a logical path. But your calculations will, prove to be correct for a lot of moments. And there's no deeper meaning to this card than what is obvious, of course. It's just like things are as they seem. Like once you think something through, you know that you have all of the information that you need. So you really, right now, you're just keeping it simple and understanding that you can win the game of life that you're playing right now by just, taking calculated actions. That's what this is, right? For your prosperity to really take hold in the way that you wish, you have to be very calculated. And I would say, not about going with someone else's plan. I would tell you to create your own success, because it's less about what you're doing, and it's more about keeping promises to yourself and sticking with a game plan, and just doing the things that you say that you will do, even if you don't know how it would turn out. You will find that the universe will work with you, because you are someone who stuck with his strategy. And there's a lot of people who, and then they, oh, tomorrow. So you not being in that energy is important, and is focusing on the steps that you're going to take in order to claim the prosperity that you deserve, the prosperous life that you deserve. So lists are your friend right now. So get out a journal and just write what you're going to do. I love that. Amazing thing is like the people listen to this amazing. It's like amazing statistic. You can look this up afterwards as well. The people who actually just write down their goals are 43% more likely to see them come into fruition. I think it may even be 45%, but it's around that very high percent. So if all it took for you to, like, more than half of the people on the planet, right, was to just write your goes down, why wouldn't you at least take that step? Because what happens is, you signal to the universe that you're serious about attracting abundance, and then your plans and strategies will yield like wonderful results, right? And most effective strategic partner is spirit. So when you are planning and you're coming up with things to do in your mind, you're really actually, taking a tip from spirit. It's like the Page of Cups energy, realizing that you're not alone, and your ideas are coming from somewhere, and that is your co-creator, spirit. So you will win this game, and you will triumph, and you will triumph for the good of all, right? But you definitely have to be in that energy of going for what you want and claiming what you want, not being afraid. I feel a lot of back and forth with people comes from them just being afraid to even say what they actually want. The first thing, like, don't be afraid to say what you want, and after you admit what you want to yourself, go ahead and write it out and make it plain, because no one can do it like you can, of course. So let's go ahead and shuffle and get another wisdom card. Hello, teacher. Doing. So let's see another wisdom card. Okay. Okay. So the card that popped out is a card of new life. This is the card 39, which the card 39, which is crazy because the 9 that we had earlier, but this new 9, this renewed 9 is about new life, the birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, and just life renewing itself. So it's kind of like that energy. Can you see her like stretching out again? It's like coming back to life, like something constricted or shriveled up. Like once you put like to see it take on that new life. It's like that energy when spring awakens the whole world, and joy and excitement is definitely being felt all around, and the blossoms are like bursting, things like that. So it's like that energy of just like promise. and miracles are, everywhere. So this is one of those times in your life when new ideas and things like that inspire you, and new opportunities just bring you hope for whatever you are needing it for. Like that page of wands, page of cups energy, and all it does take you to be a thinker, right? That Knight of Pentacles energy, that Eight of Pentacles energy to, do what I'm telling you to do, which is like to pull out your journal and, you know, take whatever is necessary for you to continue going and, to move with enthusiasm. But it does take a plan, right? So all is well in your world, and you definitely have the energy that you need to feel renewed. So allow your heart to just feel with that enthusiasm and let this be a good time of enjoy this good time of fortune. And your prosperity message for this is like you have every reason to continually be optimistic as things are just seeming to fall into place like magically. So new opportunities will remind you that abundance is always available to you. Delight in whatever bounty that begins to appear in whatever forms they begin to appear in, right? So continue to stay curious, to always look out for those moments, those times, those synchronicities that you know that your hopes and dreams are being fulfilled as it were. And it's as if like new life is suddenly like infused into everything that you're doing now. Now that you have like this new refreshed energy, your projects, your works, your creative ideas, your food, everything is filled with a sort of electricity that is going with like very exciting potentials. That is because you feel like it's like an exciting potential coming from the world, because you feel like the world is finally smiling down at you, and it's that energy of being free from strife and things of that nature. So let's get another. So we also have the number again, 3, 3, 9, and 8. 3, 9, and 8 have come out multiple times. So 3, 9, and 8, but we're gonna go with this one. Such a big space down here. I just want to make sure you can see all the cards, because But yeah, the card of Between Worlds for me is like that energy of, the world that you're about to be in has not completely taken form yet, but you have to continuously focus on it. And, as your legs are leaving behind the old world, you have to, like, you remember that story? Let me know if any of you remember that story from the Bible. It's like, she turned around and turned into a pillar of salt. It's clearly not a real story like that, but it's like a story about, how what you look at and what you are paying attention to is like what you, like your transition. So you may not be quite out of one situation and fully engaged in another, right? But it was the energy of like the energy of the cards that I was talking about before, where you have to detach yourself from the reality, and that's like the reality that you're currently within. And when you become like in this like middle moment, you look farther into the future. You look at the world that you're going into rather than the one that you're coming from, because you realize that now is the only moment that matters. So if right now you're entertaining the old world instead of the new world, then you continuously make the old world have that form and that, realism about it, that stuckness. But if you turn your vision and focus on what is to come, the world that you're, heading towards, you can see it start to take form in, people, places, and things, and real life experiences. So the number, it's like the energy of being like temporary blindness, that energy of like no man's land, going somewhere else, and trusting the process of wherever you're going, and trusting the process of change. And you, at this point, you are done learning lessons um, of whatever experiences that you have, whether it be recent or whether it be, um, nine of swords, from the past, right? Just about worry and anything like that. So between the world is where you must let go of like the tendency to have these little assumptions about what won't work out from the place of worry and fear, and nine of swords in reverse like we had earlier, because you're really not fully seeing what's ahead right now. So you don't want to use your old worries to um, form your new world. You really want to let your new world be untainted by what you have been through before, because what you have been through does not denote what you will be doing in the future. Do you understand that? So, like I said, you're done learning lessons, and in this place between what was and what will be is a state of making and unmaking and making again. So, what is essential for you right now is to admit that you don't fully know what's there, and it's also not about how, but you know exactly that there's just a great freedom and a power that you will be, tapped into and unleashing, and there is a mystery that is not yours to understand, right? And it weaves the web of life. So within a divine matrix of consciousness greater than your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and desires and decisions, there are seeds that were planted that begin to take root, right? But what surfaces won't always be something that you expect. So when you are between worlds, you are definitely being invited to be curious, like with the eyes of a child, which is that energy of the Page of Cups that I talked about as well. Being very, childlike and being excited for how things will turn out and not being scared, of course. So do whatever. It's like the energy of a kid, like looking at a rainbow for the first time or something. Just do whatever you are guided to and excites you, and know that you won't be disappointed, right? And for your prosperity in your work, sometimes you try things that have worked for others, and sometimes it does work for you as well, and it does appear that it does it does bring you a level of success, right? But it's like the Eight of Pentacles of doing what you want to do over and over and over again because it feels good. It's like it reminds you that sometimes the path to your prosperity is yours and yours alone, and it's your own gamble. When you win or lose, when you go up with that energy, you can learn so much more from what comes of whatever you decide to, bet on yourself. So it's a good time to bet on your skills and your talents, and just take it to a new level, a different area, and remain curious with the right combination of just timing and luck and all of these things. You would definitely stumble upon something golden that would be unlike anything that you've ever known before. But it's definitely that energy of being loose, allowing things to take form and to surprise you, and not being very rigid about. Yes, it does. So typically in readings they do connect to that main thing from the beginning of the reading. Um, Without me knowing or trying to even do that, it does have a theme to let you know that this is certain for you, whoever is watching this. So yes, it is definitely very cool. How they always do that. I love that too. That's my favorite thing about tarot. It's just the messages are on theme with whatever y'all pre-shuffled for in the beginning. So the last one we have is the card Blessed, which is the number 22, which is also the number 4. So also the numbers typically always run into a circle. So we have 2, 4, 8. At the bottom of the deck even is the number 8 with the community card. Community number 8. 2, 4, 8, and 9 and 3. So definitely some strong energies there. Let me know if you've been seeing any of those numbers as well. But yeah, this last card here is the card of, like I said, just being blessed, knowing that you can never get it wrong. I listening to Abraham Hicks in my moments of just feeling the shuffle just because I love like things that she says. It's not about the advice, quote unquote, that Abraham, gives. It's not about doing, it's about being. And understanding that, you can't really get this wrong. So it's best to just, follow your heart and to be very clear about what you want, because carving at your own path is your, best bet. So something wonderful that is unearned, quote unquote, and unexpected is that it's still going to come. That's what being blessed is all about. Like something that people will tell you, well, what did you do to earn that? Or, asking you, like, did you expect these things to happen or not? And it's like a certain expectation when we're going from world to world, right, Warren? You learn what I just told you throughout this whole reading. When you learn that you are the creator of the new world and you have to focus in order for the world to take shape physically and create that new world, that you are the catalyst for all of that, you definitely feel like, wow, I'm so blessed, you know what I mean? And you may feel like, dang, I didn't even have to earn this, or I didn't have to do things so differently than I thought. I was given a lot of grace, and grace is an unforeseen gift from Spirit. So remember when I said, Spirit is your co-creator and all of this. So just writing down the things that you want to take form. Now Spirit has a guide on what you're aiming for, and even though it seems like, well, all I did was like write it down. Maybe I wrote it down every day at like 3 o'clock or something. I don't know. But you like constantly kept your mind focused on the world that you are heading towards. So when you did that, it really showed a unforeseen. It really showed like a faith. That's the word that I just want to encapsulate it with the word faith, right? It showed faith, and that's what the divine operates on, because that's the spiritual currency of the divine, right? It's just your faith, because there's nothing else for you to see, right? So I'm going to do some more brushing since this is the last card. So there are moments in life where out of the blue it seems that everything has been orchestrated by a divine intervention. And you will feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express to anyone. It's as if like the energy of like the Red Sea parts in front of you, and events are coming together to just banish your troubles easily and naturally. So you know deep down that you deserved it, and yeah, there you are. Like that's a great thing, because it's like, what do you have to do to be deserving, quote unquote? Nothing really, so you were born deserving. You don't have to do anything to be deserving of source, or universe, or anything that you want to call God, whatever, love. You don't have to do anything to be deserving of it, and as let that fact just like give you that awe-inspiring, that gratitude, and just that energy that you need to just be beyond grateful for all of the blessings that are guiding you and continue to show up along this path. So I mentioned detaching from this world, like when you're switching over, just detaching from the world that you're leaving behind. And that doesn't mean to attach to this new world as well, because you realize that when you get there to another place of greatness, you're going to want to make that your old world and keep reaching for greatness. So never attach to anything. That's why you stay detached. And the people who are detached, they are, they're clearly the people who are, high thinkers, like the Knight of Pentacles type of energy, also the thinker energy up here, and the ones that know that blessings are abundant and they're here, and at any point you can have like a new life as well. But it's all about, like I said, your focus on what you're focusing on. So this card of blessed, this energy, your prosperity message is just being unexpected windfalls, and just good fortune is coming your way right now. And you're in a phase where any difficulties or obstacles that have like stopped up your success are just like dissolving and disappearing and clearing out on their own. So right now, just imagine like whatever a problem is, you can imagine it in words or in a shape of like whatever it takes form in your life, and just imagine it like dissolving and disappearing, dissolving and clearing out. It's literally like dropping into an abyss, and you can't even see it anymore. And now it's gone. But something has to take up that space, right? Something has to fill that space, that emptiness. So the divine is now, making something out of thin air for you. And it's exactly what you have been desiring. You're not even attached to it, but somehow an unexpected windfall just came your way. A windfall of exactly what you needed, the right amount of what you needed, and you are very thankful and grateful for that. And it seems like you were ready to receive this the whole time. And now it's just been like divinely put into your lap. So these windows of opportunity are open wide for you. I just did like a small visualization there just so you could solidify accepting the blessings that are given to you now. And don't be afraid to share them, and don't be afraid to you may even just be sharing what you know, like the wisdom that you have gotten from this reading. Like maybe you're sharing it with like someone that you can talk about this stuff with, or just some people will come to you because that Knight of Pentacles energy and the Page of Wands is like you're very much someone who people can like just talk to, or they just sense that you are wise beyond your years. So people do love, just propping you up in a conversation every now and again. So when people do like go deeper with you, don't be afraid to, flex a little bit of your knowledge, of course, because you are the thinker. So it's definitely a wonderful reading for you, whomever you are. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it very much. And I hope a lot of wisdom came from it for you. Don't forget to, just whenever you get up and are back at them, remember you are 43 to 45% more likely to get the things that you desire in life if you write them down. So with that being said, very good with that visualization that we did. I feel like, you're unstoppable. And as long as you know that, believe that, and understand that, then you truly will be unstoppable. So don't forget to join me for the rest of the week, the rest of the month. I will be doing lives like every day, or just very consistently. The more you all like the video, subscribe to the channel, and things of that nature, I'll know that you want me to do them more frequently. So also I want to do like the rest of the elements. So fire, air, I already did. That's on the channel from this week. So fire, earth, and water readings will be coming, throughout the time. But without further ado. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this resonated. I'm sure that it did. And I will see you tomorrow.